Swapping out drugs for sports. Jan-Martti Kaljuvee has been a resident of Lootuse küla in Estonia for 2 months now. A community of people intent on changing their lives. Here he is free. Free from drugs, tobacco, alcohol. Free from his dark past.
I have the chance to start my life again here. It's great.
But this new life requires strength. Those who don't make it risk a relapse. Six o'clock in the morning. Getting up early is the first thing 18-year-old Jan-Martti has to get used to in his new life. His new home is called Lootuse küla, which means Village of Hope in Estonian. Located in northern Estonia, an hour's drive from the capital Tallinn, it's surrounded by old pine trees and picturesque moors. Those who come here must leave their old lives behind and start completely afresh. The stay lasts between 10 months and a year. No cigarettes, no drugs, no alcohol. In a community of like-minded people who have one thing in common, their fight against addiction.
It's a beautiful place with positive energy. I don't feel trapped here. I could leave at any time because I came here voluntarily.
The Village of Hope was founded in 2000 by a minister from the Free Christian Pentecostal movement. What began as a small construction trailer has now grown into a settlement with 9 houses, a sawmill, and a sauna. More than 1,000 people have come here to date, most with criminal pasts. Dealers, thieves, murderers arrive straight from prison as part of a re-socialization program. Some were released early and now live here under supervision. Their day begins unusually, with a hug.
People here are just like me, addicts who've had to deal with similar problems. I find they're easy to talk to because they've been through the same experiences. We can exchange stories and support each other. Everyone is friendly, almost loving towards each other, but that's because we're all sober. When people take drugs, they're not so friendly or helpful.
Even before breakfast, there is Bible study in the community center. Everyone joins in, reading a line in their native language: Russian, English, Estonian, Latvian, and Finnish. The Lootuse küla community is international and includes both Estonian citizens and foreigners living in Estonia.
Человек, с которым развращенным сердцем насытится от пути своих и добрый от своих.
The wealth of the wise is their crown, but the folly of fools yields to folly.
Tõe truu tunnistaja päästab hingi, aga kes sebitseb valesid, petab.
The Bible study group is led by Raimond Cook. The current pastor came here 14 years ago to overcome his own drug addiction at the time. Cook is now the managing director of Lootuse küla.
We can help most by showing our residents respect and accepting them as they are. When a so-called tough guy comes to us, perhaps someone with a couple of murders on his conscience who spent 20 years in prison where he had the status of a hardened criminal, if I treat this person here as a tough criminal, nothing will change. I have to treat them differently, even if they arrive with a very hardened heart. I have to try to understand him. What's behind the facade? My job is to recognize another inner side, and through my respect and brotherly love, to help him grow inwardly.
Respect and brotherly love instead of severity and punishment? In dealing with drug-related crimes, Estonia is relying on a sensitive approach. Prevention is prioritized. with suspended sentences and electronic monitoring on the rise. And it's working. Half of Estonia's prisons are now empty. Crime rates are falling. Just 15 years ago, the Baltic country was considered one of Europe's largest drug laboratories, also supplying the Nordic countries with illegal substances. Fentanyl was the #1 killer, claiming a life every 3 days. Today, fentanyl deaths are a quarter of what they were then. But the drug problem remains a pressing issue among young people, as Katri Abel-Olo from the Estonian Institute for Health explains.
Every year, around 100 people die as a result of drug use. Most of them are young people under the age of 40. In this respect, we are one of the countries with the highest mortality rates in the European Union.
Around 3,000 drug-related offences are recorded in Estonia every year. Most of these, around 2,000 cases, are minor violations. Around 1,000 are criminal offences.
If you look at prison inmates, around 40% of them are behind bars because of drug addiction. That's a very high number.
Back to Lootuse, the village of hope, where Jan-Martti is telling his story. His first experience with drugs was at the age of 16 with marijuana, first as a user, then as a dealer.
Before I came here, I started selling weed. I had a friend who was making a lot of money on it. So I thought to myself, why should I go to work when I can earn 100 euros an hour just as easily? It was very simple. Someone texted me, I went downstairs, opened the door, and he gave me 100 euros. I handed over the goods and went back upstairs. That was it. I thought, wow, money is so easy to come by. I felt really powerful, as if I had some kind of power in my hands.
This went on for 2 years until one day something happened that changed Jan-Martti's life.
It was a party that had a lot of cocaine and alcohol. Someone gave me some kind of powder, another gave me coke. I didn't really know exactly what they were giving me. Well, I overdid it a bit. I remember going to the bathroom, standing next to the toilet, and at that moment, my legs went numb. They gave way, and I thought I was about to collapse. My heart was pounding so hard, it felt as if it was about to jump out of my chest. I stood there and thought, could this really be an overdose? Could I be dying?
Jan-Martti didn't die, but that evening did change his life. Especially what happened after the party when he got home.
Breathe. One more.
My mother was waiting for me on the bed. She was sitting with her back to me, looking out of the window. I saw that she was crying, and at first I didn't understand why. But then it hit me like a bolt of lightning. That's exactly what addiction does. Moments like this mean so much. They mean so much when you realize you've hurt your own mother. She's protected me my whole life. And now I've caused her so much worry because she thought I might die. I'm ruining my life, and there's nothing she can do about it. We sat together and cried. And then I told her I didn't want to live like this anymore.
Easy money was confined to the past. Jan-Martti now works in the sawmill on the grounds of Lootuse with nearly 30 other men who currently live in the village of hope. pallets, crates, wooden building components. Incidentally, all the houses in the settlement were built by the residents themselves. Lootuse küla is financed by private donations and government grants.
This is where the wood's sorted. I work with my friend taking turns. Today I'm working till lunchtime, then it's him. There aren't any conflicts, we get along great.
For many here, this is the first proper job they've ever done, even if they're no longer as young as Jan-Martti Kaljuvee. Saturday is the highlight of the week, the sauna, including ice bathing at minus 15 degrees. And 2 months after arriving in the Village of Hope, Jan-Martti receives his first visitor, his mother.
Today is a special day because I've been here for 2 months. That's the first phase done. I mean, of course I'm overjoyed. But the greatest joy is that I've finally seen my mother again. We've never been apart for so long. From now on, things will only get better.
After his stay in the Village of Hope, Jan-Martti wants to do military service and learn a profession where he can work with other people, ideally young people, he says, and never take drugs again.